basically, I have a 17-year-old son, which I'm gonna get him a car pretty soon. So instead of just buying a car straight up, I'm gonna do something called the ladder challenge. So for $100, I'm gonna turn it into 4,800. I'm gonna give this 3 tries. If it doesn't work, then I just lost 300. But if you guys want to follow along with the strategy that I'm doing, let me show you what this looks like. So we would basically be starting at $75. That's my unit size. And then once that hits, like, tomorrow, if that hits, then we're going to go to 150. And then if that hits, we're going to do 150 to 300, and then 300 to 600, and then 600 to 1200, 1200 to 2400, and then 2400 to 4800. So anyways, that's called the ladder challenge. Starting with $100 to make 4,800. So I could have done $100 to make 6,400, but my intention is to make 5,000. So if you guys are interested in getting these plays that I'm going to hook you guys up with, I'm going to try to do my best to get them at a plus 100 odds, so that or better, so plus 100 or even like a minus 110, so that we can get double the money each day. So if you guys are interested in that, don't snooze on this. I'm going to give these plays away for free. So make sure you subscribe to this channel for that. All right, let me just kind of quickly talk about what happened yesterday. Then I'm going to hook you guys up with 2 plays in baseball. Actually, I'm going to do one parlay. I'm going to give you both teams that I like, but I'm going to parlay them together so I can get the good odds so that we can double the money. And then from there, I'm going to talk about some college football. 2 days ago, we had a perfect day. I was not able to make a video yesterday, but I did want to come out and say we had a perfect day. I shared the Yankees, that hit. Then we had Alec Bone to get that hit. We had the Astros, they ended by a -1. But I partnered that together with Turner because I didn't have anybody else. So that hit. And then you can see Astros, I had them at a -1. They ended up winning by 1. So that's considered a push. So that's not a win or a lose. And then we had Francisco Lindor to get 1 hit. He ended up getting 3 hits. So it doesn't matter. It's still considered 1 hit as far as the odds go here. And then Sal Frelick. So again, it was a 5-0 perfect day 2 days ago. Yesterday, I haven't ran the numbers, but I did share the Cubs. If you were here yesterday, I shared the Cubs. They ended up winning 11-7. And then I shared the Giants, and they ended up winning 15-8. So if you were here yesterday, or actually if you were signed up for my free picks, I threw the Giants out for free. So you would have had the Giants. If you don't have access to the free picks, just go to the link in the description and click free picks. So the 2 teams that I like today, you can take them as money lines as you want. If you want to follow the ladder challenge, then I'm going to do parlay together. So I like the Yankees over the White Sox. I had them 2 days ago. As you saw, they won. So basically, the projection win probability is 66% for the Yankees. They're supposed to hit 5 compared to not 4 over here. The team grade, you can see it's a bunch of green over here compared to a bunch of red. So Yankees are a much stronger team. And this is very big also. It says that the White Sox should be batting in the 9th. What that means is that the White Sox are at home and they should be losing the game. So that's the reason this odd is so high for the White Sox to bat in the 9th. Also, you can see this is a big differential here on the hits. Even though this is under 8.5, this is actually over 6.5. So there's actually a three hit differential of what the books are saying that the Yankees are going to get 3 more hits than the White Sox. Then we look over here. Just this is overall in the last 30 days. You got 16 wins for the Yankees compared to 9 wins on the White Sox. I'm not going to go through all of these, but everything is looking green on the left for the Yankees. Everything is looking red for the White Sox on the right. Okay, so now we look at the starting pitching. Starting pitching is not great. I don't like it too much because this guy Smith is pretty decent. You can see he's got 105 strikeouts compared to this guy with 46 strikeouts. But this guy has a lot less games compared to this guy. So I'm not too great. I'm not too happy about the pitching today. But I already shared a bunch of stuff for the reasoning behind why the Yankees should win. Another big graph right here. You can see there's a bunch of red over here. What this red means is that the Yankees are actually number 1 in OPS, meaning on base percentage, and the White Sox are like 25th. So White Sox are the worst 5, and the Yankees are the top 1. So they're the top 1 right now in the last 7 games. So I'm going with the Yankees on the money line, and I'm going to parlay that together. So as you saw, I had the Cubs yesterday. They won. I'm going to go right back to the well right there. 74% chance they're going to win. 7 runs compared to 5 runs. These are just projections. You can see all of this just like in school, B plus, A minus, B, compared to a bunch of Fs over here. So the Rockies are one of the worst teams. 70% chance they're going to win. Also, just like the White Sox, the Colorado Rockies should be batting in the 9th. So I am taking, again, look at all this green compared to all this red. And then, so I am taking I'm taking the Yankees. And let me just show you the pitching also. Sorry. Assad doesn't have, that's another thing. I don't like the pitching today again either for the Cubs because he's only got 1 game under his belt. But so does this guy. And look at the difference here. He's got 9 strikeouts with a 3.8 ERA compared to this guy with a 9.82 with only 2 strikeouts. So that's a big difference. Also, the batting, Cubs are top 5. Rockies are bottom 10. So that's the reason. I'm taking the Cubs money line, and I'm taking the Yankees. So Yankees and Cubs. I did that together. Oh, you know what? I didn't share that. So I put those together. If you put a parlay them both together, you're going to get a plus 120. So a plus 120. So what this means is that if we are at $75, it's going to be over $150 tomorrow if that hits. So again, I'm doing this ladder challenge. If you haven't done so, subscribe. I'm going to be doing that for trying to get to 4,800. All right. Now let me talk about, yeah, you're welcome. Larry, I'm going to talk about college, and you're welcome for this. So here we go. One of the things that we started doing, I took a trip to Dominican to meet my business partner, and we talked about what would be the best way to do college this year. And what we decided on was to look at the line moves and the spreads. So this is one of the scrapers that we have for college football. This is for today. And you can see the away team, the home team. This is the spread when it opened. This is the current spread. So the open spread and then the current spread. What this means is that whenever the lines drop, there's a certain spread. So whenever the lines start, they have a certain line. If you don't know line moves, there's a whole video I created on that. I'm not going to try to explain it right now because it's kind of complicated if you don't understand it. But we're looking at the opening line versus the current line. Okay, and I actually created a script that reads this entire graph right here. You can see the bet percentages up here. You got the money percentages. You got the spread, the away team, the home team, the difference in the money. So there's a lot of data here. As you can see, I'm not going to get into all those details, but basically this scraper goes out and pulls all this data for all the games for today. Then I built another scraper that actually separates which games have a 3-point spread difference. So, for example, Fordham versus Boston College, you got the away line here at 37.5. Now it's at a 34.5. So the line is going in the wrong direction. It's going on the away team, which is Fordham. So I hope that makes sense. So basically, we're looking at the line move from where it started to where it's currently at, and that goes down the line for all the games. And out of all these games, there's like 32 games today. Out of all those 32 games, we're only looking at all of these games. So we got Fordham versus Boston College, Kentucky versus Louisville, Chattanooga versus Memphis, Charleston versus Vanderbilt, Missouri versus Arkansas, Georgia State versus, I don't know, was that Georgia State? And then Rice, Idaho versus Washington, Hawaii, and then Austin versus LA. So again, we're only looking at the teams that have significant line move. And what we mean by significant line move means that the spread moved from like a -3 to a -6, or like a +9.5 to a +6.5. And then we break that down here, and then we start the research from there. So out of all these games, I did all the research already. And the one that stood out was this one. It was Arkansas State at a 13.5. They actually started at around a -9.5, I believe. I don't know if I have it on this sheet. Yeah, here it is, Arkansas State. So they started They started at a, you can see here, they started at a 11 and a half. Now it's at a 14 and a half. The reason I'm doing 13 and a half, I actually bought it back a point. But basically, it's a key number. So in football, there's key numbers like 3 for field goal, 7 for touchdown, and things like that. So the key numbers are like 9, 14. So what I'm trying to say here is that the reason I got a minus 13 and a half was because of that key number. So they have to win by 14. But if I had them at a 14 and a half, which is the current line, 14 and a half, then they have to win by 15 points. And that's much harder to do because of that key number. They could win by 2 touchdowns and they win the game, or you win the bet. So anyways, I hope that makes sense. We're doing a lot of stuff inside of college football. This is not the only information that goes in here because we look at the both teams. So for example, we look at Missouri State versus Arkansas State. We do the comparisons. We do the line move. We do the head-to-head trends, how good the one team is doing against the other. We do all this stuff. So again, guys, go to the link in the description, get the free picks. This is where I'm gonna be throwing the plays for doubling the money here. So if we double the money 6 times, again, it's gonna be $75 today. It's gonna double down to $150 tomorrow, double down to $300 the next day, $600 the next day, $1,200, $2,400, $4,800. So 6 days, we should be at $4,800. I'm gonna try this 3 different times, meaning if we're doubling down and then we don't hit on the 3rd day, I'm going to start over. And I'm going to do that 3 times. And if we don't hit it, then we don't hit it. But if we hit it, we're going to make $4,800 pretty much with $100. So I hope that makes sense, guys. I appreciate you that are here. I know it's early. I know it's one of the games is about to start actually for college, but I don't know if it's the Arkansas State. Anyways, I like the Yankees money line, Cubs money line. I'm putting them together. If you put them together, you can get a plus 120. If you're not going to follow along with this, then you can just do the Yankees money line and do the Cubs at a -1 to get good odds. If you haven't done so, go to the link in the description, click on free picks. Also, there's VIP picks. We had 4 more slots, I think 3 or 4 more slots for the $5 plan. So check that out. You'll have all the games for today and tomorrow. All right. Thank you.